Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Goodbye. Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel. This is the next episode from Playa Rocky, and today we are with a very special person, very a special person. The my invited from today is Jessica Norell. Thank you so much, Jessica, to be here in Playa Rocky. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Daniel.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to having you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, from both. So I feel honored to having you here. And well, can you introduce yourself a little bit? And can you talk a little bit about what you do for the people
Yeah.
so they know
Yeah.
why you are here and
Yeah.
what will be about?
Yeah. Okay. So I am a life coach. I work with clearing statements sessions where you can go in and change your points of views or programs that you had from your childhood till today. So what I do is that I go in and I clear the stuff that is hindering you from getting to the places that you really desire to get to. And my niche actually is to relationships, people who are singles, people who are in a relationship, or someone who wants to get out of a relationship. And I have a special gift that I am complementing my coaching with, and that is my intuition, my sixth sense. So I am born with a special ability to see the future and what people have been through and what's actually is hiding behind the things that you can't access on your own way. So what I do is that I use that gift so I can take you into the action mode. So when I give you tools, you will feel motivated to actually do the changes because I will see what the changes will give you in the future. And it's easy for me also to spare some time because I can already see what you've been through, so we don't have to talk about that. All I need is to just sense you and perceive you, and then I will know what to go into to make the change, to transform the situation and the mindset that you're in. So I have a formula that I'm doing, a transformational formula to change your patterns, your behaviors, giving you the tools to use so you can create a new kind of life and live with more ease.
Wow, it's very interesting. So, for my in my personal perspective, do I told you why this project is named Dale Playa Rocky? Well, it's a play words, but I'm making reference or I'm playing with these words because have you seen the Rocky movie?
Yeah.
Rocky. So this guy was, like a box fighter,
Yeah.
and I used that as inspiration because I felt that I was going through the same journey, and I'm telling you this because all this project has bringing to me a lot of develop, like personal develop, professional develop, in every sense of my life, and this is about personal development. So you are a professional coach in this topic of their life. I think in this topic of the life because I think it's I think it's the most important thing you can have.
Yeah.
For
sure.
I don't want to be for be successful. I would like to say more for to be in peace.
Yeah.
Do you know? Well, and I mentioned that because this happened. I mean, the way that we met, it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Because you asked me a question. I mean, like, you asked me if I dance.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I said, how do you know that?
Yeah.
How do you know that I'm dancing? Yes, well, I dance. I'm taking class. I'm learning.
Yeah.
And I use the dance actually as a therapy.
Yeah.
I use the dance as something where I can express,
Yeah.
without words.
Yeah.
and it helped me to develop this like not verbal language and express all those feelings that sometimes I cannot say, but dancing I can express it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it seems for me interesting than the way that we met, because you're I mean like let's gonna start like to let's gonna start to make to have about these two ways, because you are match relationships match
I'm a matchmaker.
matchmaker, sorry,
Yes.
matchmaker, and also you have this gift, and you
Yeah.
have you I think you have to develop it, right? You
Yeah.
have to develop
Or
to,
you're born with it, or you can also.
because I don't know for where I should start, because
Yeah.
both topics are interesting, but I think let's gonna start with the gift, because it's the way that we met.
Yeah.
So you are saying basically then you can see the past from a person and the future
Yeah.
from that person, and with this method that you are developing, you can change these things.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you first how this started for you, and how, I mean, like, how you can see how it looks to see the past from a person, how it looks to see the future from the same person.
How I can see it.
I mean, how it started,
How it started, how I understood.
how discover, how you discovered
Yeah.
this gift, and how it looks in your mind.
Yeah.
I'm asking you something graphic.
Yeah. Yeah. But I get it. So I was really young when my mother just started to understand that I had a gift, because I knew things. I knew things that I wouldn't be aware of. So in family matters or her friends, if they had a situation, I could tap into it. I could perceive that, and I had no filter as a child. So I
So
always
okay.
just said whatever came up to me, and I could say that. I could usually, I was really good at knowing when someone was in love with someone and the other person wasn't loving that person back. I could feel that kind of stuff really easy as a young child. I mean, I was 5 years old when I said to my mom that I think that this person who is together with a family member is a very jealous person. And she was like, "Why? Why do you say that?" I said, "But I just know it."
Wow.
It was just so clear to me. And then my mom talked to this family member, and that person said that that's true. That's true. And I could perceive that my friends was in a relationship, and why it wasn't working. I could see why, and I could see that very clearly, very in a very young age. I just think that love, that category, is one of my favorite ones, and I believe that my gift has chosen to be in that category.
Category, yeah.
Yeah. So I can use my ability to help people when it comes to that aspect, because that's my favorite aspect in everything. So relationships is so natural to me. So I have always like picked out those kind of things when people feeling something, because that's where you're most vulnerable as a person. That's where you are as most easy to read, when you are vulnerable. So I believe that that was my first encounter when it came to realizing that I could sense what people were going through, what they've been through. And how I see it is more like it's like a movie in my head. It's pictures. I get like pictures quickly, and then I have to interpret them. And that's the job that is really challenging, because sometimes you can interpret something, but it's not always the way I perceive it. It could be different from your from your
From my perspective.
perspective. So the job is to get really good at interpret it and then to deliver it. But the gift shows you in pictures. I have the sensation, I have thoughts, and sometimes I can hear something. So I have all the senses activated for it.
I can say honestly, well, I think for most people can be hard to believe that this could be possible. I have an idea, or I believe that everything is possible, right? And sometimes these kind of things I feel then are these things could, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say like this,
Yeah.
could be real, right? Could be real in a way that I'm not experiencing that, but in some point for the things that you say to me and all, the way when we met each
Yeah.
other, I can, I mean, like I can say, so there is something that
Yeah.
I know that you have something abilities. I don't know, right? So, and I'm telling you this because for me seems sometimes a little bit hard to believe it,
Yeah.
because there is some aspects we use. I think we use the 10% of our brain, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So some people are on top of the average, and I can say that you are one of them.
Oh, thank you. That's really generous.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I can say you are one of the average. You are on top of the average because first when we met, I felt that. I mean, I have very sensitive. I have
Yeah, you do.
I'm very sensitive with the energy of the persons,
Yeah.
and I can say this about the energy because it's real. I mean, like I can feel the presence of the
Yeah.
persons when I saw them, when I see them, and I can feel their mood or their, how they are feeling. And when I saw you, I felt very strong energy, and I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I have to,
Yeah.
like stand up, like buenas tardes." So, and when when we started, to talk a little bit more, I realized, and yeah, it wasn't my imagination. It
No.
was true. So you had that strong energy because you was in a unknown place,
Yeah.
and you was discovering this. You was discovering this new place, right? So I touched this point because for me, as I would repeat it, it sounds sometimes it does. It's something unreal, surreal. See the future and the past from the persons, but I think the way that you're saying that you see like flashbacks, but the interpretation might be not the correct interpretation.
Sometimes it's not. If
So
you're not good. I mean, when you're starting, when I teach my students to evolve their intuition, the first thing they need to do is to interpret it wrong, to know how it feels, so they know when they do it correctly. I mean, sometimes we have like a register, and everything I've been through and all the experience I have is like sorted in this space. And when I get a vision, it has to connect with something from my register, my archive.
okay,
So if I never been through something that I'm perceiving from you, I won't be able to really put the words on it the correct way so you will understand it if I don't have it in my archive.
okay,
You understand?
yeah,
So that's what I mean. Sometimes the interpretation can be wrong, or I have too many options, and which should I choose to make this person understand what I'm talking about, to really connect with it. So that could be sometimes a little wrong. So I always say before I start a session that don't take everything I say, take it with a grain of salt, just so you know, because you know what happened. When I talk about it, you will understand what I'm talking about. I wasn't there. I can't know for sure. I can just perceive something that's showing up from your energy of what you've been through, but I wasn't there, so it's not fair for me to say that I know exactly what you did.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, okay, that makes sense for me.
Yeah.
That makes sense because yeah, it's like yeah, you can misinterpreting
Yes, you
something.
can, because you don't have the experience or you don't know. But right now, I would say I'm so confident. I have a really good archive. I have a lot of stuff, so
Experiences.
I know how to be spot on.
So I would like to ask you how you approach to the person to start to work with them and help them to develop, because I guess then you have first, you have like, this approach and talk with him and see what's going on to match your interpretation with their perspective, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you how you approach to this person to start to visualize how you can help him, how you can, yeah, improve their
You mean
person.
before they book a session with me, or you mean during starting
No, I
the
mean, like,
session?
I think that's good. I think from both, because I think everything starts with the first contact, right?
Yeah.
If you can see the future, I can guess then this person will have
Contact me.
they will take the decision to
Yeah.
contact you.
I don't go
So
out and
yes, exactly. So you are not like
I'm not going out and collecting
yeah,
clients.
clients, yeah,
They are
yeah.
connecting to me.
So, based on this, how you start to visualize how you can help this person.
Okay, how does it work? Because like when I start my session, I just sit and I just look. And when I'm looking at you, I start perceiving energy. Energy tracks from what you've been through, and with that, I will know what to start to talk about. Because what you always do in a session is talking about now and what has been, so that person can be available to the information that I have to tell them that's coming. And also during this, I will give the tools for you to not keep repeating what you've done till you
To
came to
broken
my,
patterns,
yeah,
right?
exactly. So when I start, I perceiving in my body and I'm just getting this feeling. It's a sensation. But when I look into the future, I will see pictures.
Okay. So,
And
in the same way that you see the past, you start to see the
yeah, yeah,
future.
and the past doesn't always have to be in pictures. It could only be an emotion, and I know how to put words to it. Like I can sense that a person have had a rough relationships behind, and something is still left in the energy that is blocking the person to actually be able to attract someone that she really asking for, because it's still there and I can sense that. And I can picture myself a picture from the past, because it's an energy that is old, that I can get pictures from my brain. But when it comes to the future, it's another kind of visions, it's another kind of picture, because it comes from your pineal gland, it comes from your intuition. This part is the one I'm like traveling in the future and I'm still sitting
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm doing like a
Like,
journey, and that's where get all these images and recordings. And then I'm trying to like explain to you that I can see this person, and I can explain that person who's coming into that person's life if they decide to really cut off with that thing that is still annoying the energy that makes you not available for a new person. So I'm trying to like direct for that kind of matter. And it all depends on what you're coming for. If you just feel like life is hard, you are not getting what you feel that you deserve, then we look at it from another perspective, and we're not talking about it from a relationship perspective, just talking about your relationship towards yourself. And we work from that. So the formula in itself is always seeing what you've been through, where you are right now, what's hiding behind the things that you're not getting access to. Clear that, take it away, then I can see the future. Your timeline is suddenly clear for me to see, because sometimes you have a work to do that is not worked, it's not finished, and I can't see what's coming, because you are the creator of your future. And that's why I can see how I can help you to unclear that, so you can start receiving stuff coming into your future. You decide your future, but sometimes some things are or will happen either way you will
no,
choose. Yeah, so it's not like everything is not written in a stone.
not everything, but
No,
certain
but
points it does.
yeah, and it all depends on you, because sometimes when you were a child, you probably were imagining something you really desired when you grow up. That will be on your timeline because you created it. But maybe you're wondering, why am I not there yet? Because you are distractions, you are blocked with something, you haven't really you haven't really understood the code yet, the code of what's holding you back, and I can see what that is, and I can release that. So that's when I can also see what's coming. Sometimes it's so unclear, I can't even tell. I can't tell you anything about your future until you've done this work. You have to come back. That's sometimes I have to say that.
So let me see if I get it.
Yeah.
So you have the 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 person, in this case, the
Yeah.
patient or your student,
client.
the client.
No patience.
I don't like that word client for this topic.
But client is the best way to say it, because patience is like
Yeah, well, it's more like like therapy. Okay.
another
Well,
customer.
so the people have to solve these unsolved things to open the new possibilities
Yeah.
and then create their own reality.
Yeah, and
And
the future.
and I was this question was around my head. It was
Yeah.
it was traveling around. So in the way you describe and you see the future like a pictures, like a flashbacks, well,
Or
flashes.
flashes.
Well, the flashback is from the past.
Premonitions.
Premonitions.
Yes.
So it's still being like the same premonitions after and he did or he didn't the job.
Yeah. So if I give you a task and tell you to get back to me in 1 week, and you haven't done the work, then it will remain the same. You still have to wait. But if you have done the work, I will see more, or I can see something else
Okay.
coming, because it depends on how you work and how the result is in you. So yeah, they can change. And if, let's say, you didn't do anything and then you want to have another session in 6 months, I will get the same information that I did last time without even knowing it, because I don't remember everything I'm telling everyone every day. I mean, it's impossible. But sometimes I recognize when I start to say, I'm like, I recognize this. Haven't I said this before? And they're like, yeah, then you didn't do your job. And sometimes things are not coming exactly in the time frame that we maybe are sensing now, because it also depends on you. So about how willingly you are right now, that's what I can presume about how much time it will take until this happens. But it can also be sometimes for some people it never happens, and they're wondering, why does nothing that I am getting from someone who is a fortune teller or seeing the future, every time they tell me something, nothing happens. And there are a few people out there that actually it never happens to them. And I'm still trying to figure out what that is, because I know one thing is, you are a person who always change and you're constantly changing. Then it's not possible for us to really see what's going to remain, because when you change, it change, and then it change again. So it's like, it's no idea to even say something, because in 2 days you could have changed,
Yeah.
and then it won't be there anymore.
So that exactly, that was my question, because
Yeah.
like the future is infinitive, right? The possibility is
Yeah.
infinitive, and
Yes.
let's use a dumb example, right? If I left at 3 p.m. instead of 4 p.m.,
Yeah.
so that can change my whole life,
Yeah.
because in my way going back to home, I can find someone, and you can imagine whatever you
Yeah.
want, right? So this kind of events is then you're saying that you are reinterpreting based on the new choices that you give, well, the new choices that the client took,
Yeah.
right? So
I mean, I wouldn't say that everything will change because there is a change here. I mean, if I tell you that there will be a person coming into your life, and this person is like this and looks like this and will be like this, it will still happen even if you're not doing work, but it will take longer time.
okay,
So
right.
sometimes it's not like, oh, because some people always say, oh my God, I didn't do that. Will this person not come into my life now? It's not like that, but you're postponing it.
Because, well, right now, actually, I hope don't put too deep on this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this. Probably this is a little bit out of we were talking about, but I think is the point of all these things, right? So what do you think about free will? It
Yeah.
does exist?
I believe it exists.
Because I'm gonna say the same. I through some experience that I have, I think I believe that it does exist.
Yeah.
Right. I cannot describe it, or I cannot, like, prove it. I will be a genius if I can prove it. But I feel as well inside of me that
Yeah.
I have a control. Right. So you say then there is, in the timeline, there is like a certain checkpoints
Yeah.
that you have to go through. So how this affirmation that the free will exists match with these checkpoints that you have go through?
Okay. So before you get into this life, you have already decided a journey.
Okay.
So you already know what you want to go through to have the experience when you leave this body, to become more enlightened. Your soul wants to become more enlightened. So it decides what kind of experience it wants to go through. With that said, you know that you will be going through some steps, and the free will is not about avoiding that or get away with get away from a hard work, because you already have a decision. You don't remember the journey you decided to go through, but you will understand that the free will is more or less about the choice.
So I just a small parenthesis. So with this, you affirm that reincarnation exists.
I would say that you can all have a lot of lifetimes. It depends on how much you want to add to your soul, to your energy. The energy material that you are can access to information from your body, from all the bodies it's been through. It can, like, it's like a computer. It can get so much from all the experience, and it makes something with that energy. The energy, like, expands even more. And some souls want to know so much, and they decide to go in again, and they go in again. And it doesn't have to look in this body, like the human body. It could be other types of bodies that it takes into. I mean, there are animals and all that, but I believe that when it comes to this subject, we have already decided how we want to die. We have already decided what we want to get into, what kind of life, what kind of parents do we want to have, and all that.
Okay, so if I understood, before to come to this life, we freely choose those checkpoints.
Yes.
And in the, well, now translating that in the life, my own choices, like my daily choices,
Yeah.
gonna drive me there,
No
even
matter
if
what.
I don't want it, if I don't want it, right? So no matter what, so it's up to me to the right decisions to go there, because if I don't want to go there, I will never go there. But it
will come anyway into your life. You cannot avoid it. That's what I mean. You can never avoid what's going to happen. It will come in some other way. It will find its way to you if you try to avoid it. And every time you try to avoid it, you will get more heavy, and you will start feeling that you are not in control of your life, and you're not feeling well, and you're not happy. Things like that will start to happen. Because if you are avoiding it, you need to be attracting it. So the energy in a higher level of you will put you into low frequency, so you will match with that point. You understand?
okay, yeah.
So now I'm getting deep. So what I'm trying to say is that there is some small differences here. You choose a journey in this lifetime, but you also choose on this with your free will how you will go through it with your mindset and everything that you will be. If you're trying to avoid a conflict that always coming back to you in relationships, let's say that, you will in the end become a person who will only attract those kind of events, just so you will find out that you need to change.
Yeah.
So you can never avoid it anyway. It will give
Okay.
you the best. And I really need to just comment also the right decision. Where I work from, I say whenever you feel light, it's true to you. Whenever you feel heavy, it's a lie. So when you feel heavy and make a choice, you know that that's not the true choice for you. When you do it and you feel ease, that's a true choice for you. So I don't like to talk about polarities like right and wrong, good and bad, and ugly and beautiful, because when you go into that perspective, you will do everything to be right and to be good, and you will always have a resistance towards being bad, and you will not love and embrace the weaknesses in you. So never go through bad or good or right or wrong. Go through what makes me with ease and what makes me happy.
I had so much questions.
Yeah.
One podcast will be enough. Will be not enough. Not enough. But so sorry for this small interruption. So you was talking about right or wrong and take the decisions based on how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you something very like probably could be very not a little controversial.
Yeah.
How would you say how you what would you say if I do something that is bad but it makes me feel light?
Then it's not going to affect you. This is the secret.
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you an example.
Yeah.
For example, if I stole something,
Yeah.
I mean, like, if that makes me feel light,
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
will be that will be. I don't want to say right decision, but that will be what I should do.
So let me have a moment with this because it's a really valuable thing to talk about. So you were born with a inner compass. And one of those is to feel heavy when something is not correct or something is not right.
Okay.
But we were wrongly programmed as a child because when someone said, "Ooh, don't do that,"
Yeah.
we
Okay.
felt shame. And when we felt that shame, we felt heavy. And the heavy feeling was confirming that I am bad, I am not good, and this is how it feels when I am doing something, when something is correct, that I am bad. So when I get the heavy feeling, I have been thinking that this is correct. Oh, he broke up with me because I'm ugly. And when I said that, I felt heavy, and I felt that that's true then because I feel pain. It's the opposite. Your body is instructed to send out that emotion of making you feel heavy when something is not true. So I have believed my whole life that I was ugly.
You was
Because
what?
that I was ugly. That
Okay.
was why this happened to me. Because I felt heavy, but my body was trying to say, this is not true. There is another thought that is true here. You're thinking the wrong thought. So if you are programmed to not respect people's
Rights or
or their things, belongings, or whatever, and you have nothing to lose to steal that, then you won't send out any frequency that say that you're doing it wrong, because it's only when it comes with a judgment. This is the thing. People who do bad things, who doesn't feel that that's bad, won't get the karma thing.
Wow.
but they will go through karma in another perspective. It's not like when they do the bad stuff, it will come back to them, then they will understand they did wrong. No, no, no. There will happen things in their life that would sort this out, balance out what they took from someone. Something will go back in karma when it comes to life, but they won't recognize that. People like that won't see that this is what I did and now it's happening to me. They will see that this is something that is a threat to me and now I'm going to go and destroy that too. So they will always be in the destruction mode. But when it comes to feeling like, if you feel a little guilty of breaking up with someone and you have a judgment about that, you will feel heavy when you think about you have to break up. You will think that maybe this is not the right thing to do because I feel heavy. That's the opposite. The thing is that what you're thinking about the situation is not true. So what you have to go into is to see what's the truth here. I don't feel like I can't stay in this relationship because it's not right to me. And if you feel light thinking that, then you know this is the truth. But what makes you heavy is when you have a judgment. If you don't want to look bad, you don't want them to believe that you're a bad person. If you want to look like you're perfect, then you will have a judgment about breaking up. You understand?
Yes.
So that means that you will only notice when you do something that is not good for you and it's not true, you will get more heavy, or you will be neutral, like someone who steals, because they don't have that preference. And that's why it works differently for them. But for people who is caring and who really wants to do the right thing, they need to go through asking the right questions to feel if they become light. Because this is something I'm writing in my book about your inner compass, how to navigate yourself through life. Because there are 3 things that makes you heavy. And the first thing is when you receive or perceive something that is not belonging to you, because you perceive other people's feelings, emotions, and thoughts. The second thing is when you try to believe in something that you're thinking about yourself or someone else or a situation where you decide that this is why, and you feel heavy, then it's not the truth. You have to ask yourself again, what if this situation is about the person is not aware of how I feel? And then maybe that makes you light, and then you know, like, yeah, there it is. And you can find yourself back to the truth. The third thing is you're doing something that is not correct or right for you, that's true to you. Let's say you go to a job that you're not really exciting about, but you do it because you think that's the only way to get money. Or you're in a relationship that is unhealthy because you don't feel like you want to be alone. Or you have stopped doing something that you really love.
Yeah.
So these are the things that can navigate. How do I know that I'm doing the right decision here? What choice should I do? Ask the question, if I make this choice, would that be the most contributional to me? And you will feel light or heavy, and that's the answer you should look for. Not, is this right or good or bad or wrong, because then you will go into judgment, and judgment will take you down to low frequency directly, and you won't get access to what's really true.
I can explain how we're talking about, I mean, making question about this, because for there is like a I don't want to say background, but it's like all these things are based in awareness, right?
Yeah.
So what if I'm watching this from the worst perspective, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to understand like both sides of
The
of
polarity.
the polarity.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna use this, like this example very mean. For example, Hitler, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he never felt. I don't know if he felt heavy, but he doesn't look heavy.
No.
He wasn't look like heavy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you this because you are saying then inside. Well, sorry, you are not saying this, but I can tell or I can guess then behind all those things there is actually bad and good and bad things. even if it doesn't make you feel heavy or light. My question is, or well, I would like you to answer me this.
Yeah.
Talking about from our thoughts, there is not good and bad, right? But behind of that, things that make you feel heavy or light or lighter, it is good and bad. If there is the polarity inside of those feelings, no matter how we feel, it is.
Yeah, I mean, let's say there is energies, and there are heavy
Okay.
energies and there are light energies.
Okay. Okay.
And depending on what kind of person you will turn out to be, you will choose to either work from the heavy place, dark place, or the light and with ease place. So Hitler, for an example, he didn't have a judgment about what he was doing, so he didn't go into another frequency where it's low. So he will still be in his own frequency where he feels that he's doing something good, something right, something that is must to do. If he believes that, then it's his he's convinced that this is something he needs to do. He will only be judged by the people who doesn't agree with that, and that doesn't mean they are right. That's why we can't talk about right and wrong. But you, as a person who feel like I get heavy when Hitler does that, that means for you this is not the true thing to do. But if he would do whatever you felt like, you would validate, you would say that he was doing something that is good, and this is only our own values and our perception of things. It's nothing that says that this is what it is. It's just how we operate in the meaning of how we want to judge and value stuff. So if I tell you this, Daniel, I don't like people who kill other people, and you like people who kill other people because you feel that that's the correct thing to do. I'm not right and you are not right. We have only our own perception of it, and what I choose to do with my life is the only thing I can take responsibility for.
Yes.
So when it comes to the bottom line, it's not about good and bad and right or wrong, or if they do this and they do that, does that make it wrong or right? Because then we lose our that. This is just an illusion of everything.
No, I mean, like right now, after this answer, I connect the points.
Yeah.
Based on what you said, then we decide this journey before we has been born, and we have certain checkpoints that we have to go through. Every decision that you took, taking you to that to those points, to those checkpoints, is what makes you feel light, 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 right? Softly. And if you decide before then you born, then your journey will be with low frequency. So every time that you do things vibing in low frequency, it's gonna make you feel light. Isn't it?
No, because as I said, when Hitler did his bad stuff is a minor way to say it, but when he did what he did, he was still in his high frequency because he didn't have any judgment or resistance to
Yes.
what he did. So it's not about you will go through life with low frequency if you are not. I wouldn't say it's that way. Try to see if you can.
I'm saying this. I'm using the same example.
Yeah.
This crazy Germany
Yeah.
guy, he decided before
He had
to
a mission.
burn, I will do all these things on the earth, right? And he went through it, and he did it, and he chose all those action. I can say are low frequency because for example, I'm use this for my own experience. When I do something bad, not ethical, I feel bad.
Yeah.
Right. So, but he didn't.
No.
So he chose it before, and every bad decision for him was good. Well, I mean, not every decision that he took him to that frequency, because everything is energy. That's what you said,
Yeah.
right? Behind of all this choice that we are making, we are vibing with certain kind of energy,
Yeah.
high frequency or
Yeah.
low frequency. So we burn here, and he choose go in that direction, right? Low energy. So that's why every time that he was taking that decision, he felt light.
Yeah, he didn't have. This is the thing. When you are in high frequency, you don't have judgment and you don't have resistance. When you go down in frequencies, when you go into judgment and resistance towards what you're choosing, that's simple.
Okay.
So that however you want to put into situations, it's still going to be like evaluated through that person did that and he didn't have any remorse. Okay, so that person didn't have a judgment about what they did. They didn't judge that and they didn't have resistance towards it. That means when they did it, they will still be in their high frequency. It doesn't mean that what they did is really a nice thing, but that's in the eye of us.
Yeah, or of perception or
Yeah,
judgment.
exactly, to judge.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, as I said, I can make 1,000 questions about these topics, because this is more like I don't like this word as such, because it sounds like negative word, but it's esoteric,
Yeah.
because it comes from inner knowledge. So, and thinking about that inner knowledge, I want to change a little bit. I want to
Yeah. Yeah.
left beside of this example, because we're taking about that you are having these checkpoints, and you decide your journey before you burn. You burn.
Born.
Born. Yeah,
Yeah,
born.
not burn.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yes.
you born before you born. Uh, when we connect, because you are a matchmaker, right?
I'm not really working as a matchmaker to bring two people together right now. I was going to, but I have put that on side. What I do is to make you a matchmaker with your life. So I
Okay.
matchmake you.
With your life, and
Yeah, so
then
you
you're gonna
can match with
with the
everything you
person.
desire.
Okay. Because um, long, a few months ago, I recorded other podcast with a friend of mine. Her name is Joanna Elias, and she developed a connection code. I remember a lot of that podcast, because we talk about connection, right? So when we start this podcast, we was talking about energy, and the energy connect high energy. I think, well, I don't know exactly, but I guess then high energy connect with high energy.
Yeah.
I think so, right? Because in physics it's different, right?
Yeah.
Polarity gets attracted. But well, that's other topic. Uh, and when I talk with her, she explained me, or she talked about this method that she developed, and she told me how to connect with people,
Yeah.
right? And in every level, in a friendship level, and a family level, and a relationship level, field level,
Yeah.
laboral field level.
Yeah.
So, but just retaking a little bit what we were talking. Do you think that the connection is enough to share or to match with some, in my case, with other women, for have a relationship? Because I'm asking you this, I don't know if I explain myself,
Yeah, I do understand what you mean.
because you can feel connection with someone, but probably that person is not the right person, and avoiding if it's right or wrong, right? Taking this example, that if that makes you feel lighter or heavy.
Yeah.
you can connect with people that makes you feel heavy
Yeah.
and it like to you.
Yeah.
So my question
Mm-hmm.
is, so how we can, I don't want to say match make match
With a good
with
connection.
a good, how we can difference the connections, or yeah, separate the connection and the match,
Yeah.
because that can bring me down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So let's first understand that connection is also related to a biochemical reaction in the brain. It comes from dopamine.
yeah,
Yeah.
oxytocin.
Yeah. So what that means is that it will turn on the dopamine when it's familiar to something you've been through as a child that you haven't healed from, or you were, let's say, neglected and abandoned. You will feel connection with people who have been through the same or represent the people who hurt you. So that's why connection is not reliable. It's just a way to figure out, is this because we are familiar in it? So let's say you were abandoned, I was abandoned. We will feel connection because we can feel that in each other. If you have healed and worked with yourself, and I have healed and worked with myself, then it could be a good match. But if you haven't and I have, it will be a really annoying match. And if both haven't, it will be a toxic relationship. So when we go to the connection thing, it's not just a spiritual thing. It's a chemistry, and it comes from something that you are familiar with. So it doesn't say that this is the one. So to understand, when you find something that is good and you have a connection, as I said, if the connection is healed from the both parts, and you have other similarities and other perspective, values and stuff that goes good together, then you will understand that this is good. Why will feel heavy when you meet someone with connection is when you can sense that this person is not true to themselves. You can always sense that as a person. We have the perception. So we can sense if someone is not true to themselves. We will get hesitated and start to doesn't understand why, because the sex is amazing, the feeling is amazing, everything is like, why do I feel that there's something there that makes me heavy? Because there's something in that person that the person maybe doesn't even know, that is not really healed, or something is not clear to them, and you can perceive that. And that's when you need to understand that you have questions. You can ask the energy to actually find out what is the problem here. So you can ask, what is this that I'm feeling right now? What is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if you get a yes with, I can change this, how do I change this? You can do that with any feeling you get when you have met someone, or you are in a situation with your work or whatever that is. Something is coming to you. You can ask and your body will respond to you. And whatever you do, whenever you can, use the tool of feeling if you get light. Because if you ask, should I take this choice? Would that be exactly what I need right now? You will feel light if it's really going to become something that's great for you. You will be heavy if not. But there is one exception here when you feel heavy, and that is when you have your own thought made up about something. Let's say you have a point of view of something that, oh no, I'm not gonna like doing that because I am an introvert person or whatever. You will say, I feel heavy. That means no. No. It's sometimes situations.
So that's sabotage.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes situations who doesn't feel comfortable. And I will say the most uncomfortable thing that you're standing towards is usually the most change available for you to go through. So where the most resistance is where the biggest change waits. So when you get that feeling of being heavy, double check by asking, if I do this, will that bring me the feeling I need right now? And you will feel light even if you don't want to do it. Your body won't lie to you, but your brain will, if it has fears and perception of what is gonna what you think you're gonna get out of this. You understand how I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I can understand is we we used to confuse the chemical reaction of our body
Yeah.
with the true
Yeah.
connection.
Exactly.
That's what
A
I.
chemical chemistry and connections are in the same level of it interferes with our brain and stuff, so it's so hard, but when it's really spiritual you can really understand the difference,
Okay.
because when you are meeting someone and it feels spiritual and you are actually having sex with that person, it's in another level. It's not getting your like brain into that phase where you will just go around and be obsessed with the person. It will make you feel like you are getting more space for you when you're not with that person, and you will get more out of your life when you have been encounter with a person who's spiritual. When it's just sex coming from chemistry, you will go around and think about the person all day, and it's gonna distract you.
Okay.
That's how you know the difference.
Okay. So when the chemistry is too strong, I mean, like, talking about the sex.
Yeah.
When the chemistry is too strong, I'm gonna think about her all day long.
Yeah, when it comes from the
From
brain
from uh, from
chemistry.
the from the chemical
Yes.
reaction. But when it's not, when it's not coming from there, I will. That's what are you saying, right? I will. It will help me to focus what I'm
Yes.
doing in that moment, and when I'm with her, I'm gonna completely
Yeah.
focus on that. But I think I don't know if that have something to say with living in the present. I mean, well, I don't know if, well, meditation is a spiritual practice,
Yeah, it
and yeah,
is.
yeah. Well, right now I'm
Yes.
connecting the
Yeah.
elements, because meditation is a spiritual practice, and meditation helps you to live the present.
Yeah.
So when you say, then a true connection is made is made has been made.
Yeah.
I can stay in this state of mind even if the chemistry of my body and this kind of having sex or whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be sex
No.
as such, but I can stay stable. But I don't know. So this is funny because right now came to me. So how is supposed to feel be fall in love?
Yeah.
How's supposed to be in that
Yeah.
perspective?
So when you're falling in love with someone who is really good for you and you want to know what is healthy for you, a relationship to go into, you need to feel a certain things. Okay. So first of all, there are five keys. The first thing is, with a person, you need to feel like there is caring, nurturing, healing, evolving, fun, and with ease. So it's six. I forgot
With
it's
with
six.
ease,
With
sex
ease.
with ease. Okay.
So if you think about a relationship you've been through and see, was it nurturing? Yeah. Was it with care? Did we have caring? Yeah. Did I heal or did we both heal? Yeah. Did we evolve? Yeah. Did we have fun? Yeah. But what was it with ease? No, not all the time.
Well, but I think, I don't know if that's utopic. Say then it will be easy all the time
No,
because
but that's not the thing. So here it comes. You can go through something hard, but you can do it with ease. It doesn't have to come with trauma and drama, and it doesn't have to come from a heavy place. You can still be in awareness with a person where you can communicate things, and you don't have to have this like, I'm going to block you now because you are annoying me, or I'm not going to talk to you now for 3 hours. That's doing it with heaviness.
Okay.
Saying, I feel a little bit overwhelmed right now, I need some space, and the person give you space, that's with ease. You understand the difference?
Yes.
Yeah. This is just the six keys. But how you know is when you feel that you can do you without being afraid of not getting enough of that person. and you can still do your stuff, and knowing that in the end of the day you will have this person with you. You don't have to feel like stressed, or you have to hurry, and or you have to cut your fingers or nails off to just be able to be with someone. And you will also feel, the spiritual thing is that you will start to feel like you are getting stuff done, and it goes with such a effortless, and the timing between you is always matching. You don't even have to plan. It always, like, in some way find its way in the right timing. It's so with so much ease when it comes from a healthy spiritual
that
way.
sounds like a guy I'm from from a movie, because I mean, like, I think it's I don't want, probably I have a resistance, but from my perspective, that's like, that will feel like communicate, like have communication without words,
Without
without
words.
words. So that's how it that's how it's supposed to feel, or it's supposed to be, when you really make match, when you really connect with the people. I think, because I don't know, like, I think it's too hard. I mean, like, I don't I don't know anyone who reached that level,
No.
because in some point I also think that the relationship has to be built, because
Yes.
because there is not like, what you're saying is like, when you make match with someone, everything will be natural, everything will be easily, everything
When you are matched with the
with the right person, yeah,
frequency.
with a frequency. But even between frequencies, I think taking as example, then every choice that we take change our future. That frequency can change.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that the relationship has to be built. So how I can build a relationships,
Yeah.
if is everything perfect?
But it's
If
not
it,
about perfect. That's the
I mean,
thing.
like, well, I don't, well, probably the
I need to
wrong
give
word.
you another perspective of it.
Okay.
It's more like I was telling you how you should feel. I am not saying that it doesn't include any polarities or any difficulties. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that when you can feel that meeting a person who has a spiritual bond with you will affect you in that way, that you will feel like it's going to make you a better you,
Yeah.
by the energy that person is sending and gifting to you, you will feel that way. That's what I'm saying. That's how you can find um, the the signals of how to know. But when two people have healed and work together, they don't fight in the same way when you are in low frequency. This is the thing. When you go down to low frequency, you are in a situation with yourself where you have judgment and you are in resistance. When you're there, you're not going to be able to resolve anything. So either way, when you go to a relationship where you are spiritual, both of you, and you want to respect each other and stuff like that, you will leave a space for both of you to really make an effort to not be in the judgment and the resistance. That's a choice. But so many people today don't even know they have that choice, and that they're choosing to go in and put all their the scars and all the pain and everything is going to be like put out on the table to tell you that this is how
This
you
is
make
me,
me
yeah.
feel, and this is why this is happening, instead of like, how can we meet to become better in this? If you come from that question, then you are communicative. You can communicate, and you will not have a problem to find a way to build from that. You don't have to build from drama and trauma to become the best perfect version of a relationship. It doesn't happen from there. It happens from when you are allowing a person to be in its vulnerability or in its faults or weaknesses, but also expressing that what I feel right now is that this thing in you, what can I do to help you go through this? How can I assist this? How can I help? That's building up a relationship, you understand? And that is with ease. You don't feel the resistance when you are at that kind of awareness. It's about being aware, and two people who are aware will talk to each other in a different way, and two people who are trying to figure themselves out or trying to heal or trying to understand why they are hurting. It comes from two different places.
Two things. I think to reach that level, I think that one of the members of the relationship have to be very stable. Like,
Yeah.
has to be very,
Safe with the
you
in their
know,
own
like
environment.
yeah, because I mean, when something unfortunately happens to you, that brings you down, and it's a normal reaction.
Yeah, and it should be allowed. That's the thing. Be allowant for the situation, for the person to happen and exist, and not go into resistance. As soon as I go into resistance towards your manners or your mood, it will become a clash.
Yeah.
But if I can be allowant to that and see that you're going through something and ask if there's something I can do for you, and you say no, thank you, then I can give you space and you go through that, and that gives you the availability to actually grow and become a better version of you. That's what I mean when I said it makes you a better version of you.
Yeah. So it still sounds very utopic, honestly, because we are humans, and sometimes, for example, I can say I feel that I'm a very strong person. I'm brave, but also I think when you are going through something too hard, it can destabilize you,
Yeah.
get out of your balance, right? And sometimes, well, that's what I'm telling you. That the relationships have to be built it, because if I get out of balance,
Yeah.
I'm saying this because sometimes I'm gonna put this on the table, as you say, the same example. I put my scars, my traumas, my negative emotions, and all my past shit
Yeah.
that I've been through on the table, and I had that experience.
Yeah.
I did that, and I was looking for someone who loves me with that shit on
Yeah.
me. And I understand. Well, I understood with the time, with time, and with some experiences. And that's the best, the worst way to jump in a relationship. Actually, that's not even a way to jump in a relationship.
No. But can I jump in?
Sure.
Because it's your responsibility to take care of that shit. It's not hers.
Exactly.
And if you don't, she will get into resistance, and that's where you won't be able to build.
And that's what most the people do. I mean, like I included in that mostly people because I did it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I did it.
I did it too many times.
I went. I was looking for someone who loves me unconditionally.
Yeah.
And accept me as
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. But that's also giving you not the space to evolve. It's saying like you can keep on going, doing this, and believe all your beliefs, so you can still be negative. But she won't ever be able to help you grow if she is accepting everything. That's building a relationship, is to not accept everything. But it's one thing if you have something, a condition, or you have a fear of something, and you're trying to do something with it, and it takes time. That's one other thing. Yeah. Saying, I understand, and I am allowing you to be going through this, but it would be awesome if you could come out of it very soon. I mean, that's something else. But saying, accept me when I am mean to you and stuff like that, that's something else, right? So there is a difference between being accepting and allowing, and these are really two good keys to understand. Because when you do something really bad to me, if I don't allow that to happen, I am denying that it's happening. and I'm going into resistance, and that's going to put me down to low frequency. So I'm not going to go that way. It doesn't mean I'm accepting you being mean. It just means that I need to be allowant to the occurring situation. Okay?
Yes.
So when you say, I want someone to accept me and love me unconditionally, that means that you don't have to change anything. And that wouldn't be a good relationship to build, right? And also, when you are saying unconditionally, it means you can do whatever you want to me, and I'm just gonna take it. And that's not
No, no,
love.
exactly.
So I have to have conditions because I need to also have boundaries, right? And it's really important to build a relationship where boundaries are made from both sides. And if no one has any boundaries, that means that person is not even going to be able to grow or evolve either. It's going to be just there to assist you in life.
Yeah, so it's interesting that you say that, because sometimes the boundaries tend to become barriers, and
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, like, you have you have to have certain boundaries, but you also, I think you also have to be
Allowance.
I don't know, it's not patience, it's permissive. Well, yeah, well, patience. Like, you allow it.
You need to allow it
Yeah, allow
because
to
sometimes, yeah,
bring down
yeah,
those boundaries, because sometimes those boundaries are
made by fear.
fears, yeah, traumas.
Yes, and those boundaries
Fear.
are healthy if there is a person who reminds of the past, then you have to have those boundaries for yourself. But if it's a good person who is respectful, who has nothing mean to have no mean intentions or whatever, then maybe you can change that boundaries, because that boundaries was made for the people who's going to hurt you. So you need to understand, if this person is kind and this is a safe place, then she automatically will change her boundary by time. But she needs to see that first. You can't just ask for that before you have proven that you are actually a person that it should be worth to put down that boundaries for.
Yes. So I think, well, it's I think mostly of life, or everything of life, is try, how I can say this in English, prueba y error, like, yeah, test and retest.
Yeah.
Test and retest, because sometimes you have to also measure the boundaries of the person.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah, it's healthy.
yeah, and then you can realize if it's a healthy boundary or it's a fear boundary.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so I can understand it. It can come from both sides.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you something more,
Yeah.
before to close this wonderful talking
Yeah.
with you. Thank you so much, Jessica. I feel so grateful to give me your time, your knowledge, and I would like to ask you something about matchmaker, about relationships.
Mm?
Well, so could you tell me some advice, some aspects that I have to evaluate or notice to identify a good connection between a good connection and chemical reaction?
Yeah.
So can you tell me, just to close this wonderful
Yeah.
talking?
So when you feel that your brain is trying to convince you that this person, you need to see that person, when you feel that your brain is trying to tell you that this is necessary, and when you feel that your brain is saying that if you don't, you will miss out, or when you feel like you have to sit and have a conversation inside your head if this is good or not, then it's not a good connection.
So it's very, very hard to to notice the difference, because sometimes the chemical reaction is so strong that you even can't think.
But this is
I
what
mean,
you will
like,
go through when it's chemical.
I mean, like, I can in my personal experience, I can notice the difference. Sometimes not clearly, but I can notice the difference because the solar
Yeah.
plexus here in the belly, it get like tight, like
Yeah. And that's a
I,
signal.
when it gets tight, it's my brain, it's my
Yeah.
body, it's my chemical reaction, and when I breathe in and I release that, I'm start to slowly
Yeah.
to see more clearly. For me, it's one sign that
Feel that
yeah,
emotion.
that I
Yeah.
feel when I'm having
Yeah.
a chemical reaction. But sometimes I don't know if it's too strong that I don't realize that I have it, or I'm not having it. So it just happen in the moment and just let it flow. I let it flow, and because sometimes be so I don't want to say be so careful or measure it with your interaction. Sometimes can miss the spontaneous
Yeah.
factor, and I like to be spontaneous because that's when I am me.
Yeah.
My real
But
me.
you still have to be sure about what is your mission and your intention with the person. Is your intention to be short while, or are you long term intentionally, or are you just therefore being spontaneous? You need to understand what the intention is with every person you want to include yourself with, because if you don't have an intention, it could be go either way, and that's not good. You need to like be clear before you enter something, so you have to ask the questions to the energy if you're unsure. The person, like you say, I'm not sure I can understand when my thought goes that way, maybe I don't even realizing I'm thinking like this, then it's going to be a hard time for you. So then ask your question. If I decide to be spontaneous today with this person, would that be something that could contribute to my life? And you will feel heavy, or you will feel light. Just go for that. And then you try it out. And you will get to see how you can trust your own body, because it knows what's going to happen. So also remember, when you are trying to figure out if a person is a good choice or not, you will feel that it will be a contribution to your well-being. That means that if you don't see that person today, you will feel that that person will still be there next day, and you can still do the things that is important or valuable to you. That's the difference, because when you're chemical, how do you say it, when you're interacted with the chemicals, you will feel you'll feel like I need to, like an addiction feeling. That's really most likely. Like, I need to do this because I need to be spontaneous, or whatever you want to say. Whatever you say in that moment, you will convince yourself that this is good. Then you know you are chemical affected.
uh, I never think about I have to be spontaneous. No, I'm spontaneous, and sometimes that makes me screwed up.
Yeah. But what I mean is that when you will use that word, when you are feeling a sensation of a chemistry, you will hear yourself say, well, I'm a spontaneous person and I should probably do this because that's me. When you hear yourself doing that, then you will know that this is coming from my brain. The difference is being in your awareness and being in your cognitive brain is two different way of living. When you're in your cognitive brain, you will be analytic. You will have to have a
Yes.
strategic thinking.
I have that part.
Yeah, but when you are in your awareness, you will see the perspective in a bigger way, and you won't feel like this emotion needs to be met. You will feel more like, okay, I can sense that I'm going through this, but is this really what I should spend my time on right now? And sense if you get heavy or light.
Okay. So, yes, I can spend all day long talking
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah, it's so much.
and I still having some questions, but I think, yeah, well, it's time to close this podcast. We can leave it open for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah,
So
we
the
can do
second
a
chapter.
distance one.
Yeah. So would you like to say something else? Give us more something other advice.
No, but I would say there is a lot of information coming out soon. My book, when it's in English, I
Yeah.
will I
Okay.
will put
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
out. Yeah, my Instagram. They're mostly Swedish, but there's also some English stuff there. But we also have another podcast where there's valuable tools and stuff where they can check out also.
Yeah. I can put all those links on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
description. And yeah. So when your book
I have
is
no idea. I
published?
just wrote it while I'm here.
Okay. Perfect.
So I'm
It's
going
okay. No
home
rush.
tomorrow to just
No
finish stuff
rush.
and then we
Good
will
things
see.
take time.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah.
Or it could go with ease. That means it can go fast too. It's just in our mind what's possible and not.
Yes. Yes. So well, Jesse, has been a pleasure to having you here.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you so much
Thank
to
you.
give me this time to me, and it has been a pleasure. Welcome to Mexico
Thank you.
every time that you want to
Oh,
come
thank
back.
you. And welcome to Sweden whenever you want.
Yeah, I will. I will go. Actually,
You will come and
I will go
freeze.
to live in the darkness. I will, because I want to. Actually, it awake my curious to go to streets.
Yeah, good.
So I will be there for sure. As soon, very very soon. I mean, like I don't know when, but
But soon.
soon definitely. So Jesse, so this has been that has been it for today.
Yeah.
And guys, thank you for stay until this point. This has been another episode from Dale Playa Rocky, and see you next episode. Next episode. Okay, so bye.